Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's been a while since I posted my last video. It's been like a month and a half ago. This project I'm about to start today is probably going to be my really cool project of the summer. But a little background on it. First of all, I'm a giant nerd in a lot of different ways, hence the Lego Spaceman shirt. All my students know me as the big Star Wars guy.
Oh good, I can't maneuver.
Stay on target.
We're too close.
Stay on target.
But there's one aspect of nerd culture I'm not a huge fan of, and it's actually going to be the basis of this whole project. Pokemon! Yes, this is a Pokemon-themed project. So, I think it was about 2 years ago, Rockler came out with these guys. This is the wireless speaker kit, so it's actually a Bluetooth speaker. Comes with the speaker itself and the controls. Just like 22, 25 bucks, something like that. I did this project there. And it was actually one of my first really kind of complex projects that turned out really, really well. And I finally sold it. I was at a show a couple months back and sold it to another nerd like myself, and he and I were kind of throwing ideas back and forth. He went, "Hey, you should put the speaker into a Pokeball where it like opens up." And I went, "Yeah, that's a great idea." And before the end of the day, I ordered that kit and started planning this one, finally getting to it. So, because I'm a design person, I actually went through, designed everything. I'll be putting all these numbers up as I go along this project, but this is what it's going to look like. Put a Pokeball. Here's all the sizes for all the segmented circles I have to do. So we're going to do a ball. Going to open up. The speaker itself is actually going to be inside. The controller is going to be on the bottom. Should have a hinge on the back. And I got to figure out a stand or something. But that's the project. We'll see how this goes. Alright, so for this project, we're going to be using, for the red parts, is Padauk. It does look a little orange right now, but when you go to put a finish on it, it actually turns nice red. We're going to use the Padauk for the red. We'll be using some curly maple for the white stuff. And then the black ring is really, really dark brown, but it's actually catalogs. Avoid using these guys. But the bad thing about this, it is very, very hard. It's one of the harder woods I ever work with. But it's still going to be pretty dark. So I want to try to keep a wood look to it. But got to make it look like the Pokeball. So that's what we're going to be using. Alright, so what we have done so far, so I cut these two square pieces. This will actually be the very bottom of the circle. This is actually just a sacrificial piece, so something to mount. Alright, we have kind of the first set done, so I have the first ring done. I need to sand that off, get nice and smooth. And the first base with the extra piece on the back. This one is first ring done, need to sand that off. This one I had to glue a bunch of pieces because I'm getting low on Paduke. But I need to find an extra scrap piece on the back of that and get all these glued together. Alright, so while I have stuff gluing over there, I'll start building the next ring. So my first ring was 5.91 with a segment of 1.58 inches. So my next ring out should have a diameter of 7.61 inches, so therefore the segment is 2.04. Alright, well, I got this thing done, I got this one done, and went to cut the next ring, and then kind of disaster. So I went to cut the next ring, realized that the next ring just barely fit right there, or I should say on the outside. So I started thinking, my design is probably off. So I went back to my design that says version 2. So I realized I had this size as the base when it really should be the solid piece. This piece I didn't really need for the size I had, and then I redesigned it wrong. So pretty much everything I've done is wrong. So I went back to design, so I get to start completely over. These two things will get made into something else, I don't know what, so they're not going to get wasted. I also realized that the second ring, that guy, I usually cut all of my segmented bowls at a 1-inch wide width, and because of the steep curve at the bottom, those ones have to get cut at a 2-inch wide, and then the one above that has to go about 1.25 inches. The rest of them, see, the other two rings I can cut 1 inch no problem. So now I need one solid base, 4 total rings. The bottom ring is going to be 2 inches wide, next ring 1.25 inches, and then 1 inch, 1 inch. Now I think I'm right. So I gotta start all over and try this again. Alright, I want to show you guys what I have going on here. So I have this, just the sacrificial piece that's going to come off later. This is going to be the very top of the bowl, or top of the curve. Then I'm going to be putting this ring here, glue that. But before I glue that on there, I want to start carving out the inside of this thing. So in order to get the right curve, I have made a template. So 8.5 inch curve on the inside. So what I'll do is put this on here, make sure it's the right curve. So I'm going to start putting that in. It's not going to be the right curve right now because I really want to get it so it's a little more sturdy, but I'm at least going to start the curve so I have it there, so it's easier going to go for the next piece. But creating that template, I also have one for the outside. I'll show you that later. got the next ring glued on here. Wanted to show you, because it's kind of hard to see from the camera angles, how I actually set this up. So this is the base, first ring, second ring. So what I'm actually doing, get the top angle here, is from this outside edge to this, right there. So that angle between those 2 points is where the curve of the circle is going to go. So what I do is I take my tool rest. See if I can do this one-handed here a little bit. So I take my tool rest, set it at least roughly that angle, and at least shave off this corner so I have at least part of it. It's not perfect, but it does take at least the bulk of the material off. I can get this outside edge rounded and do kind of the same idea with the inside. I have the inside edge, so I'm really just taking off this front edge. The inside edge is the one I need. I don't really need this edge right here. So that's what I'm doing to set it up. Get this rounded off and do the next ring. Doing pretty well. Got the 2 halves working. They're actually pretty close to matching. So starting to kind of look like a sphere, but we got at least 4 more rings to do. So we're going to work on that today. As you can see, the outside edge kind of starting to take shape. It's not quite there yet. Inside edge, getting there. It's pretty close. It's just easier to work on the inside edge when you have fewer rings. So as I build up the extra 2 rings, it gets harder and harder to get to the inside, but at least now I have it mostly gone. So some just detail, and I get to go cut some more rings. Good morning. just an update of where we're at. So let me flip the camera. So we have this guy has all the rings, need to round off this, and this will be the red half top. So that one's almost done. Come over here, just working on the white half. So this part's rounded. This is almost finished. I need to do a little sanding here, and then I'm going to flip it over, show you how I'm going to do that later. But more importantly, the inside is basically smooth. And this is going to be the bottom half, and the speaker is going to sit right here. But we need a plate that's going to fit inside this. Now, when I went to cut this, I was very specific, and I stopped at almost exactly 8-inch diameter because I can cut a circle that's perfectly 8 inches. So how we're going to do that is I have this board that's 6 3/4 inch wide, and that's like 1 1/4 inch wide. So I'm going to split this guy in half, put him in the middle, cut this off. So the speaker is going to sit right in the middle there. I'm going to round it off and then put that in the middle of that guy. Alright, the red half almost done. So I'm going to start sanding just these bottom parts because it's going to get held about here when I go to the top. So I'll at least get these sanded. This is exactly the right size. Double check the same diameter, outside diameter for the other half. But the inside is done. Just so I'm going to start sanding and get this finished off. Which, working with Padauk here, nice redwood, sanding is my least favorite part. You can see all of the red stuff. Padauk loves to stick to everything, including me. Everything's red. We're now coming to the part of this whole project that I have never actually done before. So, let me try to explain it here. So this is a chuck. These teeth can go in and out. So there's a chuck key. Put the chuck key in here. Teeth can go in and out. No, so that normally will hold my work. So it's just a pressure thing. So normally you'd have a smaller piece on the back that would be holding that, except we want to flip this guy over, nowhere near big enough. Alright, well, we have the two halves done. Two halves. I seem to have misplaced the other half. But two halves, other half's going on top. So I have 4 parts left of this thing. So one, I have to put a hinge on a side, wherever it's going to go. And then the big circle on the front. That's going to be fun. I think I might have a problem with that once I get there. It's a big 3-inch cut. That's going to be fun. The base, I think I came up with a really cool idea for a base. And then, oh, of course, put the speaker in the hole. So 4 things left on this project. Oh, woohoo! I made a Pokeball! Holy cow! This project was super fun for me. I actually just went back and checked. The original idea happened about mid-April. It is now mid-July, so been working on it for, was that 4 months or so? This project was a huge amount of fun. Learned a lot, got to learn some new techniques, which is, the goal of a lot of my projects. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Please like this, share it. Love for this video to get shared for a lot of people, especially if you're a nerd and love Pokemon. So enjoy, and see you in the future.